For some people, life is so painful, the only relief they can imagine is to numb the pain with alcohol or drugs. It's easy to shake our heads and give up on an addict, to label them hopeless. But here's a young girl who found a couple who looked beyond her addiction to the precious young human being behind it and showed her a way through the pain to a new life.
Growing up was very crazy and dysfunctional. I was the only fourth grader who they had to call the principal on for fighting. In junior high and high school, I went to school drunk. I brought liquor to school. I cussed out the principal. I just went crazy. I was a full-blown alcoholic in my teens. My girlfriend and I went to the bars and drank. No one ever questioned us. Back then, people didn't ask for your ID. I was arrested 19, maybe 20 times. Public intoxication, pot. I did a lot of other things that I didn't get caught for. I was crazy, but I thought I was fine. One time, there was some guy my girlfriend and I met at the bar. And we said, "Come on, let us drive your car." I was driving too fast, and I took a corner, and I took out the electric box. We peeled back to my buddy's house and passed out on the floor. I was 15. I was arrested, of course, and they called my probation officer. I kicked him in the groin. That was when they sent me to treatment for the first time. I was in treatment 3 times. One was a program for adults. I was the first teenager there. The first 2 times I went right back to drinking and smoking pot. But the last time they sent me to treatment was when I went to court drunk and I told the judge to F himself. That was the program in Sioux City. There were all boys and girls just like me there. The director there took a liking to me. His name was Duncan, and he was a very intelligent person and funny. I remember he came down and he'd play foosball with me, and I love foosball. I thought I was good too, but he had this little move where he would move real slow and I couldn't stop him. And I'd say, "How'd you do that, man? Show me that trick." I wanted to hang around him. The counselors all there were so serious. They'd be like, "We know what's wrong, and this is what you need to do to fix it." Well, Duncan was genuine. He was down to earth, a recovered alcoholic. He'd come in the room, and the room would just light up. But it wasn't like a crush for me. I just liked that he could make me laugh. He was smart and witty, and he took me to his house and I met his wife. She was nice too. They didn't have any kids. Duncan became my mentor. He was a very professional man, but human. He'd invite me up to his office to shoot the bull. He was truly interested in me, and no one was ever that interested in me before that. I spent 6 months at that center. They got me into school, and they helped me get a job at the hospital, and I graduated from the program. They even had a little ceremony. Afterwards, Duncan took me aside and said, "I think I want to take you home with me. I've never felt that way about any of the other kids." That made me feel good about myself. I never had any self-worth. I was just this lost kid. But why'd he pick me? I don't know. I was just a lost kid. But he was like, "There's a good person in there, and I'm gonna find it." They were both wonderful people, him and his wife, and I lived with them for 3 years. They got me interested in life again, which makes all the difference in the world. At one point, I got really depressed. I wasn't good at communicating, and I was so self-conscious. I worried about what everyone thought. They really brought me out of my shell, though. He'd joke with me and say, "Quit thinking about what other people think. You're not that important. People aren't even that interested in you." After I lived with them a while, they got a job in Louisiana, and they invited me to go with them. I was like, "Are you sure you want to take me with you?" And they said, "Sure, you're part of the family." Thanks to Duncan and his wife, I was successful at staying sober. If I'd have left that program and gone back to drinking and smoking pot like I had before, I'd have either killed somebody or been killed. They saved my life.